Hello there, dzień dobry wieczór, z tej strony Przemek 14 Karka i dzisiaj zagramy sobie w kolejny odcinek Vampyra. Teraz
What can I do
pogadajmy
for you,
sobie.
Doctor?
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
Okay.
Apologies, I've only just met him the once. This is sudden. I've only just returned to England.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon and the most compassionate physician.
Dopiero wróciłeś, ale chyba z rynsztoka. Dobra.
And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in. How does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
Był w szoku.
If you could point me in the direction of my room again, nurse.
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs. It's the last vacant office at the end of the corridor.
Pierwsze piętro, lewo. Okay.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
Dzień dobry.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Gwyneth Brannigan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
O. O.
Why does Dr. Tippett's claim you're the main reason he keeps working, despite his fatigue?
If it wasn't for him, I probably would have left the Pembroke years ago.
Dr. Tippett does not think of you as just a nurse anymore, does he?
If you're suggesting he's not taking my gender into consideration when it comes to medical practice and knowledge, I really hope he doesn't.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more
jakiś
lethal
deszcz
than
pada,
any
nie?
bullet from a gun. It's hard.
Jakiś tam deszczyk pada.
An invisible enemy. Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them. Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
No ale prowadzę śledztwo, tak? Prowadzę śledztwo i potrzebne są takie szczegóły, żeby wiedzieć później, czego się spodziewać po nim, nie?
Nurse Brannigan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippett's. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Okay. Okej, jakaś nowa wskazówka jest.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
I dobra. I co teraz? Teraz możemy iść tutaj, nie? Przydałoby się też uleczyć. Ale nie mam nic. Nie mam nic niestety, co mógłbym się uleczyć.
Good evening, sir. I'm
Good
Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a
Milton.
hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
Okej. Dobijmy targu. Osobiste pytania. Nie mam. Wskazówki. Przemysłasz
Are you
broń?
really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
Co ty robisz?
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
Nawet co?
Since
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
it sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital. That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
Tak. Nowe śledztwo. Jak
How is
wygląda
the
sytuacja?
situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful.
Dupa
We
sama.
lack everything, and it's getting worse every day.
Dobra. Osobiste pytania jeszcze nie ma. Dobijmy
I'd
targu.
like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Środka. Tylko do czego by mi się to przydać, nie? Też pomyślmy. No nie? Spustu. Strzelba Miltona. Ciekawe. No ale na razie chyba nic nie kupię od niego. Nieznany.
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research.
Przepraszam bardzo.
Good evening, Dr. Tippett.
A to jest Tippett.
Dr. Reed, any good news to share?
Osobiste pytania mam. Halo.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more, unto the breach.
Siostra Bran...
Nurse Brannigan is worried about you, Doctor.
She should not have told you that. I will have a word with her.
You
Oh,
don't have to
yeah.
blame her for her honesty.
I'm not that kind of man, my dear Jonathan. Actually, Nurse Brannigan's opinion is the only one I may listen to.
You're Nurse... You don't...
Okej.
Goodbye,
Żegnam.
Dr. Tippett.
Może zobaczę... Może się uda... Coś więcej pogadać?
Good evening, Nurse.
Good evening, Doc.
Osobiste pytania. No,
Goodbye,
nie.
Nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Dobra. Dobra, myślę, że możemy iść. O, właśnie tutaj. Szpital jest przepełniony. Szpital jest przepełniony, wracajcie do domów, okej. Ale lipa. Recepcja.
I wish I could be sick again. Feel my blood boil with the fever. Ghosts came here in the first place.
Witajcie nieznajomi. Na razie pogadamy z tym.
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Osobiste pytania. O, nawet mam wszystkie odpowiedzi.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
No dobra. Może być. Potem...
Do you know Tom Watts? The bartender from the Turtle. I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom?
Turkusławy
Yes, of
żółwi.
course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
Rozpacz?
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
No.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
Okej. To jest zepsuty, tak.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers Trade Union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Dukes
so-
Digby.
Znalazłem tego.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Czyli Cox, ten cały, to on jest zły? Kurde. Ale dobra.
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton?
Zostawimy go.
Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who
Teraz
need me.
tego pastora pewnie zabije wampira kolejnego.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Okej. Czy jest... Dlaczego nie
Why
użyłeś
didn't you
krzyża?
use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Magiczny nie.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Dobry. Dobra. Ten jest dobry gościu.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really, but I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later. It's locked, all right.
It's locked. It's wszędzie locked. Witaj.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
Osobiste pytania. Dlaczego służyłeś w wojsku?
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
Czyli w innej wojnie. Dobra.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss.
Jak...
I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
To się
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Żegnam.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Disgust on every street
I wonder what
corner.
your last thoughts would be, sir.
The daily routine.
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon.
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency. Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
Na pewno. Hipnotyzuj, nie mam tego.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
No, it was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Okay.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard's syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
Dobra, nie unoś się tak.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover to hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
Ogród, a więc tam chyba...
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me, for I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here.
Tak, i tak
I'll
głośno,
personally make
głośno
sure
mów,
they leave you
jestem
alone.
Thank you,
wampirem,
mortal.
jestem
But do not interfere
wampirem.
with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Dobra, broń. Właściwie co?
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal
Kochanko
activities.
ciemności.
Time has lost its effect on me, but the suffering continues.
A ty kim jesteś?
Good evening, nurse.
Good evening, Doctor. I don't think we've been introduced yet. My name is Pippa Hawkins.
And I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. Dr. Swansea has recently offered me a position in this hospital.
Well, it's a euphemism that your help will be appreciated, Doctor.
Osobiste pytania.
How long have you been a nurse?
Well, long enough to see that the epidemic is winning. And no matter how qualified you are, don't tell me you'll change that.
Lepiej zmień nastawienie. Zdziwiłabyś
You'd be
się.
surprised what dedication can achieve, Nurse Hawkins. In medicine, sometimes we're just a test result away from a miracle.
Sorry, Doctor. I don't want to sound bitter, but
Pipka.
I'm just too tired to give a pep talk like Nurse Brannigan.
Jak?
How is the Pembroke staff coping with the epidemic?
Well, not well. Milton, the ambulance driver, is even more grumpy than usual, especially concerning doctors.
Why does Milton dislike doctors?
I don't know. Just ask him. But be warned, Milton is not the chatty type.
Why is Milton grumpy on a daily basis? Is it just an act?
Milton's not the kind of man who's bothered about a bad reputation, whether he deserved it or not.
Bo mam coś, nowa wskazówka jest. Będę mógł...
How would you describe the situation at the Pembroke Hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Nurse Hawkins, the Spanish flu won't last forever. Even the Black Plague didn't kill everyone.
I wish I could believe you. But what if this epidemic was worse? What if in the end, nobody was spared?
You must get a hold of yourself, nurse.
Sorry, I'm exhausted. No one has any idea when this epidemic will be over.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
Ojejku, ile tutaj można rozmawiać z tymi ludźmi.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
Osobiste pytania?
It seems you have bad memories of your military service.
I refuse to see this industrial slaughter as scientific progress. War only reveals the worst in men.
We can at least agree on something, Dr. Ackroyd. I don't know what you've heard about me, but I have already proved my value as a practitioner.
I don't question your skills, Dr. Reed, but your motive. Is it money, fame, or are you truly dedicated?
And what exactly is that supposed to mean?
I served in the war just like you. But unlike you, I did not use the wounded to play the modern sorcerer.
Be careful what you insinuate, Dr. Ackroyd.
I only want you to admit you used those men to improve your theories.
Knowledge has always been and will remain our main weapon, and it has always come at a price. And personal initiative.
It is not a question of initiative, it is a question of integrity. These men and women have put their faith in us, Dr. Reed.
Wróć. Twoje życie.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
Zazdrość tylko ci zaszkodzi. Skąd to
There is
brałeś?
no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital, instead of a burden.
Potrzebujesz wskazówki.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more about this place.
Let's just say I'm tired of the carelessness around me. I have always respected the skills of Dr. Swansea, but over time his enthusiasm has become displaced.
Carelessness? Exactly what are you talking about?
We're here to save lives. The people who trust us are not volunteering for experimentation. They're here to be healed.
I don't intend to run any radical experiments, Doctor. Even if I, as any good practitioner should, express an interest in pushing the boundaries of medical research.
Modern medical methods were created through audacity and ego. But there are rules in our line of work, and they're here to protect our patients.
Thank you for your time. We'll talk later.
Dobra, sprawdzimy sobie. Dobra, to myślę, że w tym odcinku sobie chyba skończymy, nie? Już 30 minut. Chociaż jeszcze nie, chociaż... Jest nieznany.
My sweet girl. Reads me like a book. Never keep anything from her.
Poszlaki, a są jakieś poszlaki. A ty?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. May I help you?
I don't know if a third opinion is needed. Your colleagues are already arguing about my condition.
I see. Would you mind telling me more about your situation?
I'm Harvey Fiddick. All I want is to get me bloody arm fixed properly.
Dobre te mają nazwiska. Jana po szpitalu.
Are you satisfied with your treatment here?
Well, it's clear that I've chosen a bad time to be injured. Forgive my bluntness, but you seem overwhelmed by cases of the flu.
I won't lie to you about it. I'm afraid we are.
Are you sure you don't want to operate yourself, Dr. Reed? I have the feeling you're very capable. And your colleagues seem to think so too.
In other circumstances, you would be right. But for now, I don't think I can take on the responsibility. My apologies. Tell me about the doctors who are arguing about your case.
Strickland and Aykroyd. They both want the best for me, but there's a lot of pride there. Doctors are no different from carpenters, it seems.
What do you mean?
I often had professional arguments with rivals on a building site. Difference is, I disagreed about wooden nails, not flesh and bones.
Tell me about yourself, Mr. Fiddick.
I'm just a regular guy waiting to get his arm fixed, so I can return to work and to my family.
I was more curious about what you were doing before being hospitalized.
I'm a carpenter, and a good one too. But that means I need both arms to feed my family, Dr. Reed.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
Żegnam Hanie, panie Janie.
Reads me like...
Ja bym chciał zobaczyć... postać.
Down, my boy.
Okay.
What can I do for you, Doctor?
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
Ej, co jest?
Sure we're making a difference.
Nie mogę chodzić normalnie? Co mu się stało?
reads me like a book. I never could keep anything from her.
Ej! Serio, mam jakieś... No, idź normalnie, co jest? Dobra.
Thelma Howcroft said she was being watched by vampire hunters. Where are they hiding? I should investigate.
Właśnie, powinienem to zbadać. Gdzie to jest? Ustaw znacznik. Kurczę, hej. Dobra. Nie potrzebuję znacznika. Idę. Chociaż sprawdzę, ile jeszcze mam. Dobra.
I cannot enter.
O, tutaj mogę wejść, wow!
Scowl voices in the garden. I should investigate. If they were to find somebody.
Zaatakował mnie! O. Ojejku, prawie mnie zabił. Ej, dlaczego mam takie opóźnienia? Zagubiony portfel. Ej! O, chyba niedobrze. Aha. Dobra. Jakoś się udało. Ale jakbym chciał odzyskać sobie troszkę zdrowia. Tak to nie mogę, bo cały czas. Portfel. A nie, to zdjęcie jest. Zdjęcie w portfelu. Zdjęcie uśmiechniętej, zakochanej pary. Opisane na odwrocie słowami Milton i Pipa. Na zawsze razem. Milton i Pipa. No super.
So, Mr. Hooks and Nurse Hawkins are an item. Those two have hidden their affections well.
śrubka. Okej. Ogłoszenie publiczne.
I wonder what your last...
Daily routine.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Osobiste pytania.
Goodbye, Nurse.
Żegnam, żegnam. Milton. Panie Milton.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening, Doctor. Still trying to save lives?
Skąd swoje...
Why do you have such a mediocre reputation among your colleagues, Milton?
Fuck them. Nobody knows the horrors I've seen since working here. This city was sick long before the epidemic, Dr. Reed.
I know it's a difficult task, but correct me if I'm wrong. Is this not the job you are paid to do?
I've seen babies left to die while their brothers were properly fed. Underage girls and boys sold to all manner of perverts.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, exactly. We lack words. So excuse me if I don't look on the bright side of life.
Okay.
I have some good news, Milton.
What? The epidemic's over?
I retrieved your wallet, with all the money, and a certain picture.
Well, yeah, Pippa Hawkins is my girl. So what? Is it the difference of skin color that bothers you?
Not at all, Milton.
Good. Please, take this money anyway. To remind you to keep your mouth shut. Not everybody is as broad-minded as you, Dr. Reed.
Okay.
What's going on between you and Nurse
Ale mu
Hawkins?
Pippa's tired.
mindtricka wchodzę mu.
Tired of all this shit.
Pippa jest zmęczona.
Tired of all those corpses piling up. She's as depressed as I am.
You do realize you could both get fired. Hospital staff are not meant to have intimate relationships with one another.
Come on, Dr. Reed. Do you know how many rules are broken in this hospital every day just to keep it running? There's nothing wrong with what we're doing.
Okay.
During the war, I witnessed a few couples just like you come together in difficult circumstances. It can be very damaging.
Maybe you're right. But we support each other. And that's all that matters.
Dobrze. Także...
Goodbye, Milton.
Dobra. To jeszcze się spytamy...
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Się spytamy osobiste pytania, haha, ale... Kurde. Co? O,
Pepper,
to-
I know you're very close to Milton Hooks.
Yes? Milton Hooks is my man. If you want to report me for that, just feel free, Doctor.
I have no intention of reporting you, Nurse Hawkins. But are you aware of the risks?
The rules say I won't be allowed to work as a nurse anymore. But here at the Pembroke, we break rules all the time.
Is he worth the risk?
Hey, I'm no perfect woman, and Milton is not the finest bloke. But we do our best to get by. That's all any of us can hope for nowadays.
No dobrze. Szczęścia życzę. Do widzenia.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
A co powie pani... Wampirzyca?
Good evening, Miss Howcroft. How are you tonight?
I need blood, Doctor. Warm, rich, vibrant blood.
Czystej krwi.
I'll leave you.
Kurczę. Dobra, to jeszcze pójdziemy sobie na piętro. Miało być na pierwszym piętrze, ale nie wiem. Piłka chirurgiczna. Yoinks.
It's locked, all right. This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
Przynajmniej nie muszę spać w trumnie. Szylingi dostałem. Fiolka.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Właśnie, a gdzie jest woda? Tutaj mogę wam ten pokazać. Raz, wody, więc woda by się tutaj przydała, ale jak to zrobić?
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Kurde, kwiatuszek zdycha. Nina. Zbadałem pieszą szczęśliwe. Kurczę, nie wiem co sobie usprawnić. Może piłę? Obrażenia? Nie wiem, tak... Tak sobie myślę, nie.
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching.
Okay.
The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now.
Bariera. Krzepliwość. O, unieruchomi. sumie, ale... Stan zdrowia by się przydał, kurczę, strasznie. Tego jeszcze nie można. Ale dobra, może... A bariera... Kurczę, w sumie nie, w sumie, dobra. W sumie czemu nie? Bariera by się przydała. Okej. Elegancko. Kolejnej nocy. O. O.
If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood?
Dobra. Czyli w tym odcinku sobie zakończymy. I do usłyszenia niebawem. Elo, Elo 320.